Welcome to Module 9, Section 3 of your B2 Residential Remodeling Contractor Exam Prep course. This lesson will focus on the most commonly tested trade knowledge areas in the B2 exam. You've spent the course building a solid foundation across construction trades, safety, planning, and business operations. Now it's time to zero in on what the CSLB will most likely ask when it comes to your day-to-day responsibilities as a residential remodeling contractor. The goal of this section is to help you study smarter, not harder, by focusing on the high-frequency content areas you'll encounter on the trade portion of your exam. First and foremost, expect to see a significant number of questions related to project planning and sequencing. CSLB wants to be sure you know how to organize and manage a residential remodel that involves multiple trades. You'll be tested on how to determine the correct order of tasks, such as when to schedule plumbing rough-ins versus drywall installation, and how to coordinate subcontractors so that tasks don't overlap or conflict. For example, the exam may ask what task should be performed first during a bathroom remodel, or what to do if a subcontractor fails to show up on the scheduled day. Next, there's a strong emphasis on building codes and code compliance, particularly related to residential remodeling. You'll need to know when a permit is required, how to work with inspectors, and how Title 24 energy standards and CAL Green requirements apply to remodels. This includes understanding proper insulation R values, window U factors, energy-efficient lighting requirements, and when low VC materials are required. You should also be ready to apply these codes in practical job site scenarios, like what to do if an inspector flags a non-compliant bathroom vent or if a homeowner requests materials that don't meet code. You'll also see many questions about identifying and working within your scope as a B2 contractor. This includes knowing what types of work you're allowed to perform, when to bring in subcontractors with specialty licenses, and what trades you can combine under one contract. For example, you may be presented with a sample job description and asked whether it falls within the B2 classification. You must be able to distinguish between non-structural and structural work and recognize that certain tasks, like removing a load-bearing wall or installing new HVAC ductwork, are outside your license scope. Another key topic is trade-specific knowledge, especially in drywall, flooring, finished carpentry, cabinetry, tile, painting, and fixture installation. You should know how to safely and properly complete tasks like installing baseboards, patching drywall, or setting a toilet. While the test won't require you to perform hands-on tasks, it will challenge your understanding of proper techniques and sequencing. You might be asked what kind of screw should be used to secure a cabinet to a wall stud or what compound to use on drywall seams. These questions ensure you have the hands-on knowledge to oversee and manage trades properly, even if you subcontract some of the work. Plumbing and electrical fixture replacements are another high-frequency area. The exam will test your knowledge of how to safely replace faucets, toilets, shower heads, light fixtures, switches, and receptacles while staying within your legal limits. You won't be asked to design a new plumbing or electrical system, but you might need to identify which fixture installations are permitted and when a specialty contractor must be brought in. For instance, you could see a question about replacing a ceiling fan and whether that requires AC 10 electrical contractor. If you understand that replacements and minor alterations are allowed, but new circuit or pipe installations are not, you'll be in good shape. Closely tied to this is safety, especially regarding demolition, lead awareness, and asbestos precautions. Many remodels start with demolition, and CSLB wants to ensure you understand how to do it safely and legally. You'll likely see questions about dust control, proper disposal of construction debris, and how to identify materials that might contain asbestos or lead-based paint. Questions may ask what to do if you encounter suspected asbestos in floor tiles, or what precautions are needed before sanding a surface with old paint. Remember that identifying potential hazards and subcontracting the abatement is your legal responsibility. You'll also want to be prepared for questions on job site setup and protection. This includes understanding how to prep and protect areas in occupied homes, like laying down protective sheeting, sealing off rooms to contain dust, and managing client expectations during noisy or dusty work. You may be asked about best practices for site cleanliness, protection of finished surfaces, and limiting access to hazardous areas. There's also a strong chance you'll see questions on estimating and materials, particularly related to calculating quantities and understanding units of measure. You might be asked to calculate how many square feet of tile are needed for a given space, or how many gallons of paint are required for 2 coats on a set of walls. These questions typically include diagrams or short word problems and test your ability to apply construction math in a real-world context. You'll need to be comfortable converting feet and inches, calculating area and volume, and accounting for waste or overage in your estimates. Finally, expect questions on common remodeling challenges, such as client changes, hidden conditions, or structural surprises. The exam might present a scenario where you open up a wall and discover mold, old wiring, or termite damage. You'll need to know the proper steps to take, such as documenting the issue, halting work in the affected area, notifying the client, and potentially requiring a change order or permit revision. These questions are designed to test your professionalism, legal knowledge, and ability to communicate with clients and authorities. In summary, the B2 trade exam heavily emphasizes practical remodeling knowledge. You'll need to demonstrate that you understand construction sequencing, basic code compliance, fixture replacement, surface prep, finish work, safety practices, and materials estimating. Most importantly, you'll be tested on your ability to stay within the legal limits of your license, knowing when to self-perform and when to subcontract. If you study these high-frequency areas, practice the types of questions presented, and approach each scenario like a licensed professional, you'll be well prepared to pass.